How do you say Phentermine? Welcome to the 19th episode in my drug name pronunciation series here on the Pharmacist's Voice podcast. This is episode 236 overall. I'm the host, Kim Newlove, and today we're talking about Phentermine. How do you say Phentermine? If you're new to my drug name pronunciation series, welcome! Check out the other 18 episodes. This is the 19th one. I break down drug names into syllables, explain which syllable has the emphasis, reveal the source of the information, and then I put the written pronunciation in the show notes on the pharmacistvoice.com so that you can see it and use it right away. The purpose of my pronunciation episodes is to provide the intended pronunciations of drug names from reliable sources so that you can feel more confident saying them and less frustrated learning them. I hope this episode helps. Let's get started. What is Phentermine? Patients might call this their diet pill. Phentermine is a prescription appetite suppressant used for weight loss. The use of Phentermine may be habit-forming, therefore we as pharmacists know that this is a controlled substance. It is a C4, a Schedule IV controlled substance. I have heard Phentermine pronounced 3 different ways in my 22 years of being a pharmacist. Number 1, Phentermine. Number 2, Phentermine. And number 3, the correct one, Phentermine. Phentermine has 3 syllables. Fen like Fenway Park, home of the Boston Red Sox, the pro baseball team. Ter like the Ter in sister. And Meen like somebody's being mean or rude to you. Mean. Put it all together and you get Phentermine. Emphasize the first syllable, which is fen. See if you can hear the emphasis when I say it slowly. Phentermine. Phentermine. Now we're at the part where I reveal how I knew the right way to say Phentermine. It was not by going to YouTube, listening to the choices, and then picking the one that I like best. That is not how it works. Instead, I used my favorite generic drug name reference. It is called the USP Dictionary Online. The USP Dictionary Online. The USP Dictionary Online is a subscription-based online reference. That reference publishes drug names that were selected by the United States Adopted Names Council. I trust the United States Adopted Names Council because they're involved with the naming process, and I trust them to know how to pronounce drug names correctly. I trust the United States Adopted Names Council over YouTube. Much like Webster's dictionary, the USP dictionary breaks down drug names into syllables, tells me which syllable or syllables to emphasize, and provides a written pronunciation guide so that I can tell if the vowels are long or short and how to say the consonants. By the way, I am not compensated in any way for talking about the USP Dictionary Online on my podcast, but I do have their permission to share written pronunciations from the dictionary with you in my show notes, which you can find on thepharmacistvoice.com. Just click on the podcast tab and find episode 236. This is the 19th episode in the drug name pronunciation series. I want to thank the USP Legal Department for permission to share the written pronunciations. This information is usually behind a paywall. I wish it were free. Oh, how I wish it were free, but it is not. Again, the USP Dictionary is a subscription-based reference. I'll put a link to it in the show notes. One last thing I'll say about Phentermine before I wrap this episode up is that sometimes I, personally, will eat the tea in Phentermine. What does that mean, eat the tea? It means that I will make the tea silent. It sounds like this. Phentermine. Phentermine. This information is not in the USP dictionary, and it's actually something that I started doing when I got out into clinical practice in 2001. It is not something that I recommend you do. However, if you do it, please know that you're in good company. I do it too. It might be a shortcut that I've developed over time. Maybe I've gotten lazy. Who knows? I have been a pharmacist for more than 22 years, and Phentermine is Phentermine in my book. Phentermine is the official pronunciation. Phentermine is something that you may also hear people say. So let's add that to our list. Some people say Phentermine, others say Phentermine. Phentermine is correct, and Phentermine is something that I say. All right, let's wrap this up. Thank you for joining me today to learn how to say Phentermine. To find the show notes for this episode, go to thepharmacistvoice.com, click on the podcast tab, and find episode 236. In the show notes, you'll find the written pronunciation of Phentermine, a link to the USP Dictionary Online, a link to the pronunciation guide for the dictionary, which is available at no cost on the American Medical Association's website. You'll also find my social media links and more. If you know someone who needs to learn how to say Phentermine, please share this episode with them. And if you like this podcast, please subscribe to or follow the Pharmacist Voice podcast on your favorite podcast player and YouTube to get each new episode right when it comes out. Join me next Friday, August 11th, for my interview with Dr. Brigitte Surfety. We'll be talking about how she uses her voice to help her clients with mindfulness. Thanks for listening today. I'll talk to you next Friday.